Welcome to Brain Health Besties. This is a human-forward podcast for those of us who maybe want to feel better but don't really know where to start. I'm Bailey Pyle, licensed professional counselor.
And I'm Nia Howard, a qualified mental health professional.
And I'm Shelby Snyder, a human.
We happen to be professionals in the mental health field, and we are human, trying to navigate the messy, beautiful thing called life.
In this podcast, we hope to share how our brains work and how we can nurture them to add things into our lives that work well, instead of just adding one more task.
Sometimes we feel stuck, or we just need that reminder that we're not alone. Please join us as we explore what it means to be a whole human, take care of our brains, and grow. We are so glad you're here.
Welcome to Brain Health Besties. This is a Be Well Moment episode. This partners with our Learning Together episodes and is really an opportunity for us to practice what we learned about in that first episode and try it out for ourselves, knowing that there are going to be some things that fit for us and some things that maybe don't. And we get to take what we want and leave what we don't. What we know is that self-assessment is really the foundation for checking in with ourselves, building that emotional intelligence, and better understanding what our next best steps might be.
If you like a worksheet or you need a visual tool to help guide through this practice, visit us at bewellcommunity.org. We will have all of the tools attached to the episodes there.
Perfect. Are we ready to practice?
Yeah. I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah. So the first step to self-assessment, and you can really practice this wherever you are. It can be, like I said before, in the car, in the line at the grocery store, as all the time. First thing in the morning, before you go to bed, really anywhere we go. And what it's going to look like is I'm going to invite us to get settled in, usually with a deep breath. And we'll do the practice here in a minute, but I'll talk us through what that's going to look like so we can know what to expect. We'll take a deep breath to settle in. And then I'm just going to ask you as non-judgmentally as possible to explore how you're doing in this moment. And then if it feels helpful or appropriate, you can put a number to that. Mm-hmm. We have a scale that goes from 0, where we're completely calm and at peace, all the way up to 5, where we're maybe in crisis mode or struggling to function. So we're going to take this moment to get settled in. This is the official invitation. So you all are welcome to get settled in here. Wherever you are doing this practice, get settled in. Maybe take a deep breath in and a long exhale out. If it's safe, you're welcome to close your eyes. You don't have to. And just let your brain and body settle into the moment a little bit. And then with as little judgment as possible, and maybe even with some curiosity, ask yourself how you're doing in this moment. And then on that 0 to 5 scale, reminder that 0 is completely calm and at peace, all the way up to 5, where we're maybe in crisis mode. Ask yourself where you land on that scale. Notice how that feels again in your brain and body, wherever you are. And when you have that number, we'll come back and just sort of ask for reflections. So whenever you all are ready, where are you and what was that like for you?
I am probably around a 1.5, 1.75. I like decimals. Somewhere in there, we are doing things today that we don't usually do. So I'm a little heightened, a little more than usual. But that's kind of where I'm landing today.
Yeah. What about you, Nia?
I think I'm going with a 2, which is also probably higher than I normally would rate, but it's almost more of the like excited side of things, not necessarily the nervous side, but more of the excited side. Because just like Shelby said, we're doing different things, but we're also together. So new practices is, I think a 2.
Yeah, I would put myself probably about a 2.25. I also like decimals. Round numbers feel not quite true for me. Mostly life has been coming fast lately. It feels good to settle into this moment, but just the realization that we are doing new things, that our pace has been professionally and personally very quick lately.
Yes.
So just acknowledging that, trying to do so with as little judgment as possible, and settling in a little bit. I loved how you mentioned, Shelby, the decimal points, because we don't have to be whole numbers. We can be whatever we are. Sometimes I'm not a single two. It's somewhere in between. I also think what is really important to remember with this practice is that where our baseline is, right? So for me, 0 only happens when I've been in nature for at least a few days. That is not my norm. And so if I expect to be at a 0, then it's a heightened opportunity for me to add some shame and guilt onto whatever number I'm experiencing. Like why I should be at a 0 or I shouldn't be at a 1. My norm is actually usually about a 1.5, a 1 1/4. So if I'm there, I know that's my norm and that's normal for me.
Yeah. And it's kind of that non-judgment piece again that I lock onto because we are whole humans and we have human brains that are not robotic. We will all have those moments of 0 that may happen after 2 weeks of PTO. And we all are just one bit of bad news away from those higher numbers. And that's okay. It's not a judgment. It's not I should be at a 0 all the time. It's just facts. It's numbers.
Yeah. Data, information. And the truth is these numbers will also change moment to moment. I may be a 2.25 now, and in 5 minutes, I may be a 2. Maybe it came down, or maybe it went up a little bit. Who knows?
I kind of think of it as a roadmap, right? If we don't know where we are, how do we know where we're going to go? Right. And we've talked about kind of that next best step. But I think that next best step is just whatever works in that moment. It's not solving someone's big problem or all the problems that you've had or that whole list that you've had in your head. Instead, it's that next best thing. Could be as simple as drinking that water, taking a step outside, writing yourself a nice little Post-it note or one to share with a friend or something. So I think that's important to remember too. It doesn't have to be huge, although it can feel like that sometimes, but little pieces. And just like Bailey said, gosh, these numbers can change so many times throughout, any day.
Yeah. And this highlights distress, like our discomfort, right? Because part of the reason we highlight the discomfort is because in our world, in our culture, in our society, a lot of times it is very normal for us to share our wins, our successes, those feel good things. But we don't oftentimes give ourselves permission or have the space to explore maybe those spaces of discomfort. And so we recognize that the 0 to 5 here does not embrace the full human experience, but it maybe allows us to tap in to a side that we either avoid or is not as acceptable for us to engage with. So with this practice, what we encourage you to do is come back and practice this over and over again. Our brain needs exercise just like the rest of our bodies. And the more we practice, the more we are readily able to use these in all kinds of circumstances. You deserve this time and care to check in with yourself. And we are so glad that you came and checked in with us today. Take care, besties. Besties, we are so grateful that you took the time to come and care for you today in community with us. Our brains deserve this time of care.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please find Brain Health Besties wherever you find podcasts. And since sharing is kind, share us with your besties.
We would love to discuss the topics that are meaningful to you. Connect with us at bewell@livebrightly.org.
Until next time, be well, besties.